Hey guys, welcome back to some Raid. Today's video, we're going to be looking at the minigame and really breaking down some of the tips and tricks in here. Now, this minigame gives you a crazy amount of loot. Looking at the progression that we're getting in here, also going to the point of getting one of these primal shards, but getting this gear set. Now, when we look at the pinpoint gear set, it is very, very impressive, and I want to take a look at it in just a minute. But I want to run through one stage. You can see this stage, we are in stage 2 right now. We're getting 250 points every time we go through here. And this really just goes, if you've played survival games in the past, being able to do this and just going in a giant circle that continuously gets larger and larger. So that's the way that we do this. Now, there's a couple skills and abilities that we had in here that I noticed really do make a very, very big difference. And some in here, including the lightning, that doesn't really seem to be super effective. So if you're looking right here, we can run in a small circle. Now, one thing to note is you have to keep moving. Now, if you stop moving in here, chances are the ranged spiders are going to take you out very quickly. Now, in here, explosive arrow does very well. Arrow rain is the one we're talking about. When you look at this, even though it has a little bit of a longer cooldown, arrow rain will decimate the entire battlefield. Explosive arrow, I like early because, again, it has a shorter cooldown. So let's go ahead and grab that exploding arrow. And again, going in the circles, have to look out for the green spiders. The green ones are the ones that are going to range. So sometimes you'll even be moving backwards right into a green spider and you'll notice you get hit. Now, the other one that I look at, I do not get lightning arrow. I do not get the ice arrow. Even though they do have a shorter cooldown, I feel like the arrow shot itself makes a big difference in taking down targets, and taking them down really, really fast is what I've noticed as we continue to, again, get this circle. And if you're having problems with this game mode, it is about just kiting in a circle. You don't have to worry about what you're shooting. You don't have to worry about anything else. Just going and kiting in this larger circle means right there we did get hit one time. But a lot of times we can run around this area and actually not take any damage at all, which is the way that we want to, staying away from those green spiders that are going to do the ranged. And you can see they are shooting all of their ranged attacks that are falling right behind me. So we do now at this point need to 100% get the arrow rain. This is going to, again, kite all of these spiders. Now, at this point, I make a little bit more of a circle, but also a little bit more of a square, depending when that falls. So I'll go a little bit higher just to kite all of these spiders right through the rain that we have going on. And as we continue to get and level up that arrow rain, you'll notice very quickly, and there's our giant spider. That's kind of like the boss that's coming in here. But when you start going into the point and getting to the point of having all of the resources, if you do a bigger circle, you can see everything that we can collect up in here. Let's get some more explosive arrow. This is, of course, going to do more damage, but it's also going to go ahead and pop quicker. And we know 7.5 seconds, again, getting a bigger and larger circle. Kiting through here, there's the arrow, boom. And look at all of the damage that we're doing. Exploding arrow at a perfect time for that explosion. And another one is coming up in just a minute. Then we look at arrow shot. This is, again, another one where I feel like we can burn through incredibly, incredibly fast with these arrow shots, getting to the point of even going through with our upgrades and killing everyone out before the timer is over. Circles are starting to get smaller. You can see that all of the spiders are coming at a lot slower pace, but getting them and pushing through here, we'll do one more big circle. And I think with this next arrow, we should be about done with the arrow rain. Explosive arrow one more time. This will probably bring us down to just needing or having that boss. And that's it. 5 more seconds. Usually we can kill this out pretty quick. Let's go with the explosive arrow. And there we go. Even though we had some time left right in there, we still did complete that out, getting another 250 points, which is exactly what we're looking to do. Out of this game mode gives us our 250 right there. We can continue. This is going to give us energy. We were looking to farm up this energy. Now we can hop on here. Now I play Raid on my desktop. Now, if you want to join me, there are some links down below to get a lot of free champions within Raid. So make sure that you are using them. If you're new to Raid, if you're checking it out for the first time, absolutely go in there and use the codes before you get into the game because you want to get all of the free resources. Now, looking at the gear, this was the other really big point. I didn't realize, just being newer to Raid, that these were legendary pinpoint sets. Now, one thing to note is with this specific artifact set is that it requires 9 pieces. There are 9 pieces equipped, 1 to 9 artifacts for the new bonus, and this offers a crazy amount. Now, some of the gear sets have 2 pieces, some of them have 4 pieces, and there are a couple sets that are exclusive that have all 9 pieces. So they are giving you some of the absolute most powerful artifacts we have within Raid for free. Because when we look at this, set bonus 2-piece, 10% speed. When we think of our speed bonuses, it is 12%. Most of the sets are 12%, but you'll also notice at the 5-piece, 10% speed. This is giving you a 20% speed boost for having this pinpoint. Then when you look at set number 8, it is 12% speed, which gives you an insane amount of speed. Now, one thing to note when it comes to speed is you have to have speed for the multiplication factor to really take effect. That is the reason when it comes to building out these gear sets, if you have very low or no speed on the gear or the artifacts that you currently have, you're not going to have the big boost that we're looking for sets like this, making a really big difference. Now, of course, speed is the #1 priority stat when it comes to Raid. You want to be going and attacking as fast. The faster you can fill up the turn meter, faster you're rotating through all of your skills and making sure that you're doing maximizing damage. Now, one of the second most important is accuracy. Now, when it comes to accuracy itself, it is really twofold, meaning that if you are only buffing, if you have a champion that is only buffing your group, accuracy doesn't make a difference. If you have anything that is going to affect an enemy, accuracy is 100% important to land whatever skills and abilities you have. If it's debuffs, if it's damage, if it's poison, if it's dots, if it's anything, which there is a ton of buffs and debuffs within Raid itself, you have to make sure you have that accuracy. If you're missing the accuracy, it'll just come back, it'll say resisted because it is not really affected. Now, you'll also notice that the 4-piece, the 6-piece, and the 9-piece does have a special ability. Grants the wearer 1 intercept stack at the start of each round. Each intercept stack blocks a single attempt at placing a crowd control debuffer or debuff. So this is huge when it comes to the PvP aspect. So thinking about that itself, if you're in PvP, if you're doing player versus player, stacking up accuracy, having a lot of speed, meaning you're going to go first. If they tried to crowd control you, the intercept stacks are going to trigger, which means that you're going to be able to block the debuffs that they're putting in there. Again, thinking of someone like a Wukong in there, going to be an absolute game changer. Grants the wearer 4 intercept stacks at the beginning of the round. Again, you could use this for a couple different things, but there also are a lot of other places within Raid itself that do have the crowd control debuffs, or you have the stuns, you have some of those things of that nature that really does make a big difference. Now, you also notice that this is 5-star and they are legendary pieces, which is massive. Now, right here, we did roll an HP boot. We do not want HP on the boots. We want speed. That is right. When it comes to really looking at the artifacts within Raid, there are 2 primary things that you want to look at and 2 primary things that you really want to focus on. Number 1 is getting speed boots. Like I said earlier, right here, the 2-set artifact is speed plus 12%. We have 35 speed on these boots as it sits right now as a 4-star. 5-star, of course, going to give us 40. 6-star is going to give us 45. But you need speed as this multiplication factor does come into play. When we start looking at our total stats and speed, we're at 161 right here. Now, we could crank that up a lot higher if we went to a 5-star or 6-star boot, because not only getting the higher base speed that we see, when you put in the artifact and when you put in the multiplication factor of building this up a little bit further, it is going to make a really big difference. Now, the second piece, 100% that is required, is the crit rating. Now, crit rating does come on gloves, comes on a couple different pieces, but remember, when it comes to artifacts itself, when you look at the sword, when you look at the helmet, when you look at the shield, these are always going to have attack, HP, and defense. This is going to stay stationary as it sits. The variable rolls that you have, or the variable artifacts that you have, are the gloves, the chest piece, and then the boots itself. Getting them to 5 stars, really 6 stars, but at least at a minimum, getting them to 5 stars and then leveling them up quite a bit makes a huge difference in the gameplay itself. Me personally, for here, even looking at Cal, we are using the life leech set. Huge with the life steal in here, being able to have the survivability on one of my rare heroes. But regardless, and this is a mistake that I made when it came to earlier Raid, was I went in here, you can see crit rating of 50, right in here we have epic speed. But when I started in Raid, I was more worried and I really focused on getting the artifact sets, which was a absolute huge mistake, versus going there worrying about what the artifact skills are or what the stats are on the artifact itself versus the artifact sets. In time, artifact sets will come. In time, you will really worry about more fine-tuning exactly everything we have in here. and building this out a little bit further based on what you have. But those for the actual builds itself make a really big difference. Now, looking at the set that we've gotten so far, this is the set in the very, very bottom, which is the pinpoint set. So we did get the legendary weapon. We got the gloves, which again had attack. If this would have been, and I think this is just a random roll, but if this would have been the crit rating, this would have been a huge, huge priority to get some of these really built up. Then we also do have the chest piece, which again came back in attack. So we have attack, 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 and then a lot of the new pieces again focus on a little bit more attack. So I don't know if it's to me to really switch up anything as far as this champion, because we have the crit damage, because we have the speed. I feel like that is a much larger priority than what we're seeing right here with the pinpoint set. I'm going to have to find exactly who we want to put this on. And honestly, looking at a few, like we've started using Deacon Armstrong a lot, getting this built up a little bit further, again, making sure that his abilities work, and anything, again, cast on the enemy. So thinking of the defense decrease that we have right here, thinking of the turn meters, we have to make sure that these land, and this, of course, is going to be important to go through here, and when this does get casted, that it lands on the target every single time. That is where the accuracy for these champions do come in as we continue to build them out. So, all right, guys, so that is going to do it for today's video. Absolutely loving the mini game. It's very, very cool to see, but let me know in the comments what you guys think, and as always, thank you guys for watching.